Good. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greetings of virtue for all of us. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Karisa Chinara, and it is an honor to be your Master of Ceremony this morning on Wednesday, 1st November 2023. Welcome to our significant event, Visiting Professor 2023. Attended by Association for Technology. Visiting professor includes will be held today in the Business Administration Department, Faculty of Administrative Science, Universitas Brawijaya. The seminar has the theme Business Research Series, Quantitative Data or Data Panel Analysis. We extend our warm welcome to all the honorable participants who have taken all the time to attend today's seminar. First and foremost, let's express our gratitude to God, who has provided us with guidance, happiness, health, and mercy, enabling us to attend and participate in this event without any obstacles. On this special morning, we have several items in our agenda for the seminar session. Please allow me to outline the sequence. The first agenda is the opening ceremony. The second is documentation session. The third is the transition from the Master of Ceremony to the moderator. The fourth is the main session, which includes a presentation by our guest, followed by question and answer session. And the final agenda is closing by Master of Ceremony. The presentation of the seminar material will be delivered by our guest, Association Professor Technologies, Dr. Ramesh Zaidi Rozan, and Mrs. Laina Pisa, Bachelor of Business Administration, Master of Science, who will serve as the moderator. Before we move to the main agenda, let's do documentation session. To the operator, please take the documentation from the first slide. Okay, to all the participants, please turn on your camera. Okay, thank you. Before we proceed to the main agenda, allow me to introduce our moderator. Mrs. Laina Pisa, Bachelor of Business Administration, Master of Science, is currently an assistant professor in the Faculty of Administrative Science at Brawijaya University. Her research and expertise are in the field of business administration, particularly in financial technology. Mrs. Lain earned her bachelor degree in business administration at Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University, Japan, and continued her studies to earn her master's degree at Dublin Business School, Ireland. Now, I'd like to hand over the session to Mrs. Laina Pisa. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Carissa. And I would like to welcome all of our participants and all of our students to this webinar series of Visiting Professor 2023. Today, we will have a very insightful event where we will be learning about business research series. We have learned that quantitative data become a big part of our research. And especially for all of the students, I'm assuming that most of our audiences are dealing with their dissertations, with their thesis. So I would like to invite our guest speaker today, which coming all the way from Malaysia, Prof. Zaidi. He will be sharing about different analysis tools in terms of quantitative data, such as EVIEWS, STATA, PHYTON, TABLEAU, SEM-PLS, and SPSS. We'll be hearing a lot about insightful methods in terms of the thesis writing process, especially when you are having quantitative data analysis. And before that, we shall be hearing about Professor Zaidi background. So Professor Zaidi, coming from University Technology Malaysia as a professor there, and he was sharing the slides. Anyway, he completed his bachelor degree at the University Technology Malaysia and master degree at University Technology Malaysia as well, particularly Bachelor of Science in Physics and Computer. And he completed his master with the concentration in information technology. And he continued his doctoral level of Nagata University of Technology, Japan, where he was learning about information science and control engineering. So he has done a lot of expertise and research, as well as the honors that he earned in terms of the technology and the quantitative data. And he also has passion from professional technology and member and international qualification of neuro-linguistic programming coach. So this has been a very precious opportunity. We shall learn a lot from Prof. Zaidi, and without further ado, I would like to welcome Prof. Zaidi. Time and source is yours.
Thank you very much, my dear moderator, Mrs. Lain. Okay, dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Right. So, thank you also to our MC, Miss Carissa. Okay, thank you for what do you call, for having me in this session. So, thank you very much also for introducing me. Okay, no need to read so long. Okay, so today I will be actually there's a little bit switch on the title. The title was given to me quite a long time ago. But due to the fact that I saw based on several cases with regard to quantitative data, there are a lot of what they call things which we need to actually look at, particularly in terms of exploratory data analysis. So the EDA, or we call it exploratory data analysis, okay, or EDA, is a very important phase in data analysis. So normally we can see a lot of people, a lot of students, and even researchers directly to doing analysis, particularly inferential analysis. So for today, I would like to actually share a bit on how we would be able to actually do some exploratory data analysis, okay, using a case. I will be sharing a data set. If anyone wants to go through with me, I look at it as a workshop. So then you will be actually doing some hands-on. Otherwise, it will be just going from the left ear, going out to the right ear. All right. So let me just open up my slide. Okay, let me share. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So the topic is I actually very focused going into EDA, or exploratory data analysis. So this EDA, if we look at it, okay, there are many things which a lot of researchers or even students were not really familiar with EDA. So some people or some researchers look at EDA is a kind of just knowing how many samples or how many records there are in a data. Okay, and some students or some researchers may not look at the number of fields and also number of missing items that are available. Okay, let me just share a bit on the opening. Okay, so if we look at what we say as EA, or exploratory data analysis, we can actually look at the reason why we have EDA. So today I'm going to show a very simple tools, okay, tools or some pack, or we call it plugins in Excel, which would be able to help us in performing EDA. But before we jump into that, it's very, very important to have a mindset of exploratory exploring data. Particularly if you look here, number one, we need to understand. We need to really understand the type of data that we have, the format, the the structure, the data structure itself. Okay, so mostly even today, the data that I provide, let me just directly jump here. If you need to actually get the data, you can actually scan this. Okay, you can actually scan this QR code, or you can also go to this bit.ly Titanic data mesh. Okay, so I already prepare a container for you so that you can download. Okay, so I highly encourage you to play around because you are actually having sitting down in your machine. Okay, so you can actually play around, and then the software is using Excel, so almost 100%. I can say nearly 99% students or people who have PC, okay, especially which is not using Apple. So, for example, it's an IBM PC. You normally have Excel, or we call it under the Microsoft Office suite. All right. So please make sure you scan this. Okay. All right. So let me jump directly to the first slide. Okay. So I prepared the slide. I prepared the data for you in XLS. Originally, it is available in CSV, okay, in CSV format or CSV extension, and there are many other data similar Titanic data, which is used all over the world. Okay, so we use this. I also use this to actually train my student to see whether they are up to the level of exploring and have this what they call I always tell them they must have this computational thinking mindset. I will cover that later, a little bit later. I'm not going to cover the whole thing about it, but in my class, I always ask my student to start having this computational thinking mindset. Okay, so understanding the data, the format, the types, etc. It's number one. Number two is identifying patterns. Okay, so identifying patterns, sometimes we can just look using our bare eyes. We can see actually what is available, what is actually the anomalies, what is missing, and so on. However, okay, this data is quite small. Okay, a few weeks ago, we had one data. It's a health record from the, I cannot inform from where, but there's one organization which they gave us a health record. So this health record were actually we call it very big because it has many records and many fields. Okay, we call it records is the row, the fields is the column. Okay, if you look at the Excel, we have row and column. All right, so no row, we put names or cases. If you're familiar, I think all of you are familiar with SPSS. Okay, I couldn't show because I rarely use SPSS. I even do statistical analysis using Excel. SPSS is a paid software. My software is already expired. Okay, so I don't intend to to renew it. Okay, because there's a lot of good things you can use using Excel, similar to SPSS. All right, so in SPSS, the number, the person that we have is actually the case. Okay, the case. All right, the other one is data cleaning and processing. Okay, so there's a lot of data cleaning we need to do, and there's a lot of also pre-processing, or sometimes we call it, in data science, we call it data wrangling. Okay, so but the easy word to say is data cleansing, data pre-processing, and sometimes it goes into data manipulation. But we use it in a positive connotation. Okay, we are not saying that the data is actually changed due to the fact that because it's for our interest. No, it's not that. Manipulating, that means we transform it into something which it helps us in, for example, visualizing, and the other one is normally for processing. Let's say we do it for testing or training for machine learning, for example. Okay, I'm not going to do into that. Next time I actually talked to Dr. Ingang, and then maybe next time we are going a little bit deeper because I want to see what kind of data you have. All right, and then okay, this is something very, very interesting. Okay, we generate assumptions. When we look at data, we generate assumptions. So when I say generate assumptions, this is assumption which is not like those assumptions which we make when we do hypothesis. That means in inferential. Because those assumptions are more like from one variable to the other variable. So we put some relationship, positive, no relationship, and so on. Okay, because the reason after we conclude, when designing the hypothesis, then we have that. Okay, but that one is more on the inferential side. I'm not going into the inferential side. We are looking at the exploratory. So like they are demographics. They are, of course, they are fields which can be used to correlate or associate between one variable to the other. Okay, so just bear with me when I say the word variable. It will be the field. It can be the column. It can be the feature. Okay, so for me, normally we use the word feature because in data science or in computer science, I'm from computing. So I previously from computing. Now I'm in management school. So I'm still learning to actually change that word. So just to tell you that if I say variable, if I say field, if I say column, if I say feature, is the same thing. If I say case, if I say row, it's the same thing. Okay, all right. The other one is to optimize secondary data. Okay, we have secondary data. Before we jump into primary data, everyone is eager to collect data from anywhere. Okay, they want to collect this and that. They want to collect directly through giving surveys. They want to collect directly through interviews. It depends whether they are going into what you call this positivist. Okay, I'm not going to say that this group is undergraduate, right? Maybe quanti or quali. Okay, so quanti or quali. So if questionnaire base is a very close-ended Likert type, we have range. Okay, so those will be what the primary data that is collected. Everyone normally do primary data collection, but before that, okay, you must do secondary data collection. You must go and look at the report. Okay, previously, because I've been developing undergraduate project in computing. So our undergraduate projects are system development. We develop systems. Okay, so not a study of, for example, a study of relationship between one variable to the other variable using model. We don't do that. Okay, but now I'm already in management school. For masters and PhD, we do that. But for undergraduate, we don't have our program yet. Our program, my department program, because I'm under the information system department, and we are going to come up with our business analytics program soon. Okay, we are in the middle of finalizing the business analytics program. So soon, inshallah, by next year, we will have our bachelor degree in business analytics. So the way we do will be different than what they call the way project is done, undergraduate project. We actually make it compulsory for students to do a deep secondary data analysis before they jump into primary. Okay, so for example, there are a lot of data sets available all over the world. Every country, they have the data set. Malaysia have the data set. Okay, we have our DOSM, Department of Statistics Malaysia. We have also data from UNESCO. We have also data from marketing agencies, and so many. And for us, for me, normally I use Kaggle, I use GitHub. Okay, those I will show later where we get some source of good data. Good data, that means data which everyone, mostly in the community, really interested in looking at it and play around with it. And maybe they want to develop some analysis from it. They want to do some testing and training for machine learning. They also AI, for AI, artificial intelligence. They also want to know generally the description of the data and so on. And even there's different range of interests among this community. Okay, all right. So when we go and optimize secondary data, that means we go and look at the data that's already been published. We can actually understand better. So this will reduce the error in developing a hypothesis. Okay, so we cannot, sorry. It's highly advisable not to directly only look at what they call for bachelor degree. Okay, not to look only at theory by itself, but you have to see what are already being published at the secondary data. Okay, so then you can get the understanding. So this is where I developed this program today, this course today. Okay, to actually show the most important parts, which is an exploratory data analysis. Okay, and then the other one is selecting appropriate analysis. Okay, so this is interesting because once we see the data, everything must have data. We don't have data, then we cannot do anything. Okay, so once the data you receive, or you just now you get the tightening data, you put it in your machine, you open it using your Excel. I will show you. I'll show step by step. Okay. I have to look at my time. Okay. So otherwise we don't have that time to actually run one by one. Okay. So this is where we understand when we look at the appropriate, when select appropriate analysis, we can understand, we can get the understanding of the relationship between variable, okay, variable, just now I mentioned variable, column, and field, okay, and this variable, column, and field, sometimes they interact with each other, okay. When they interact with each other, they come up with different dimensions. So these dimensions is very interesting, and some what do you call, if just to share with you, I was also same as you as a student for our undergraduate students here. Okay, we have 156 participants today, alhamdulillah. So you imagine I'm the same as you, but when I started my bachelor degree at that time, in 1990, early 90, there's not I mean, the Microsoft Excel was so bad. Sorry to say, so bad. Even the number of records, if I'm not mistaken, at the time was like 16,000 records. 16,000. That means 16,000. But it's, for us, it's okay. It's a lot. Okay. But now it's 1 million over records. 1 million. So there's a lot of improvement. And there's a lot of new features, okay, which helps us in what do you call, doing analysis or doing exploration. Okay, all right. So but last time it's very challenging, where we have to do a lot. I have to put a lot of plugins. I have to use Visual Basic application, VBA, to actually help in extracting, because Excel was full of limitations at that time. Okay. Right. The last one, not to say last, but for this slide, there are many more EDA using Excel. If you Google, you can find. But this one are the things which I experienced myself, using figures and visuals. Okay, this is important. We human beings are visual animal. We like to see visual. We like to experience visual. Okay, anything visual will interest us. If you give people numbers only, text only, they will feel like very tired. Okay, very tiring. But if you give them visual, they love it. So in the latest Excel, okay, if you're using the Office 365 or the 2019 version of Excel, you will be able to optimize or maximize the use of visuals. Okay, and these visuals will increase our senses. Okay, it will, you imagine it, you have data, and then the data is grouped up together to develop some kind of visual. You can actually imagine. It will give you a lot of ideas. Later on, we'll see. I want your feedback later on. You have to answer in the chat box stating that what is your idea after looking at the data. Okay, because these are things which create hypothesis or assumption in our brain when we see data, but we cannot just see the data as a spreadsheet, as a file. We cannot only see as a spreadsheet. If you only see as a spreadsheet, but you can read, you are Superman or Superwoman. Okay, but we don't do that. Okay, so let me proceed. Okay, all right. Okay, this is important. A tool is just a tool. Okay, today we have Excel. If you look at my title, we have a lot of different tools. So previously, when I wanted to compare one tool to the other, I don't have that much time because it's not really a good thing to do if I compare, because at the end of the day, the comparison will not even open up your opportunity to find which one you want. What I mean is, Excel is already available in your computer. That is what I mean. Okay, so SPSS sometimes you have to buy. Okay, and there are many more. And Vivo, okay, this is qualitative, but you have to purchase. But we want to use something that is available. So again, a tool is just a tool. So in exploratory data analysis, we cannot put our dependency on the tool. Must use our brain to do the primary work. Must use our brain to do primary work. Okay, so the thought process is very important. So what is the thought process? So when we look, I believe in this computational thinking process. Okay, there are many ways, there are many thinking process available: critical thinking, creative thinking, and so on. When we deal with data, when we deal with I like to use CT, or we call it computational thinking thought. So they are decomposition, pattern recognition, algorithm, and abstraction. So I'm not going to explain this very deeply, just a little bit. Decomposition is when you have something, some data, you will need to break it out, break it down. You don't need to examine everything. You have to choose which one and start examining. Number two, when you choose one or two variable, or maybe one variable, okay? One variable, let's say age, just age. Age, and when we process, of course, the easiest thing to do is a count of age. How many people within this age? How many people in this age? If you use a bin or a range from 0 to 5, 0 to 5 years old, how many people? 5 to 10 years old, 6 to 10 years old, how many people? 11 to 15, how many people? So that is, you just use one, you decompose, you don't look at others, otherwise you have headache. You look at one, and then when you run that one, you can see the pattern. In this data, there are so many people from 26 to 30 years old. Okay, then you get some idea. All right, or maybe gender, male, female. Wow, so many female. Wow, so many male, something like that. You haven't actually do a cross female with male and female to the date, to the what do you call to the age. Okay, just one. And then later on, algorithm, that means step by step. You do one by one, step by step. So we create steps. I will show you also step. I even write down some of it so that I myself don't forget, you also can remember. Okay, the other one is abstraction. Abstraction is you are able to see from a bigger view. All the information are hidden. Okay, this is used for developing insights. When you look at information, it becomes so many information, okay, from the Y and then the X. So you have graph. So this graph, if you focus on 1 point or 2 or 3 points, or maybe a group of clusters, a group of points, then you can, that is actually called abstraction. You try to focus only that, and you don't talk about the data anymore. You just talk about what does it feel, how does it, what does it carry, what insights, what does it reflect. That one is important from the data. All right, okay. Question. I'm not asking you question. What I'm telling is, when you do EDA, the most important thing is to have a question. Okay, some people, they do exploratory data analysis, they explore. Okay, let's just open this file, and then they just put their head like this, and then they play around with their computer. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. This is the point. This is the male is more than the female. And so, okay, okay. Yeah, we do that. Okay, I also do that if I feel very tired. But please try to come up with a question, because once you have a question, you know your goal. Today we don't have this goal seeking. We have another program, we call it the goal seeking, using Excel. We have a goal, we can focus on that. That one next time, I can show you how to do that. So this is the target today is you must have question. Okay, so this question comes in many terms. People call it assumption, hypothesis, it's a guess, and so on. So later on, when you look at the data, I want you to assume something, to come up with a question on that. Okay, because the most important thing is to come up with a business question. Even you come up with your hypothesis, the hypothesis was developed from research question. Okay. Okay, why is it important? Because it provides context, scope, and the question might relate to more questions. For example, how does your digital marketing drives sales? All right, there's another question within. Click, the system, your computer, your browser actually can record how many clicks you do. You click here, you click here, you click here, we know. I have one book related to this, okay, published regarding this. What does it mean when people click and so on? So in this case, what click rates? Higher conversion. If they click so many but they don't buy, why? Okay, so those questions, why do you think they click so many but they didn't never buy? Or they click one and they buy, or they click many shops but they buy from one. Okay, so all these are behavior. Okay, we can actually try to come up with an assumption or hypothesis, and we try to answer. All right, so okay, so I prepare this. Uh, uh, Make sure you can download the data with you. Okay, anyone have the data? Do you have the data? I hope you have, eh? Okay, if you have the data, you can open. Let me just show. We will start our demo. What time is it now? My target is around. Okay, good. I think we have time for that. All right. So okay. So this let's put this as our question. You can argue with me, but let's just put this as a question for our session today. What patterns that we have in the data that are highly associated with survival in Titanic? Okay, so the question is, what patterns that we have in the data that highly associated with survival in Titanic? Okay, patterns we have in the data so something related to survival. Okay, we don't know. But let's open the data and see. Okay, so let's start. Okay, first is, okay, where is my Excel? Let's open. Hold on, Let me just. Okay, I think you can see my data. So this is, okay, I'm looking. Yes, I have another machine here to actually check whether I'm showing the right screen. Okay, so this is the data set. So data set, normally when we receive, okay, we'll just go through, what is this? Okay, so many, I don't know. What is this? Yeah, so troublesome. Okay, so before we do anything, just look at the variable. So you have, okay, let me make it bigger. Passenger ID, survive, oh, the name, the sex, the age, SIB, oh, SIB, SP, and punch ticket. Okay, let's go. Later on, we'll check about that. So normally when you get a data, okay, today I also teach you how to get the answer. I think you should know lah. You are the generation which uses internet very very well. Okay, so before we start with what they call looking at the column, uh, we need to know also when you look at it, what is this? Passenger ID, okay, makes sense. It's an ID. Okay, survive. Oh, people who survive. Titanic, we know Titanic. Okay, if you know Titanic, please type Titanic. Titanic. If you know Titanic, please type Titanic in the chat box. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Everyone knows Titanic, eh? Not everyone. Those who answered. But I think most of you knows. So the story of Titanic, okay, become very famous with this movie by I forgot the name of the actor and actress, sorry. Okay, but those movie, the Titanic become very famous because of that. And the Titanic is a very big, huge. The name itself shows the size of this ship, so huge. But in its maiden voyage, in its first trip, is already crashed. I mean, what they call tenggelam, sink, it's sunk. Dia sudah tenggelam tenggelam ke dalam dasar laut. Okay, so if we see here, then we know the story is about this one. This data is about who survived, how many survived, and then we have P class. Okay, I don't know what is that. Later on, we'll check what is P class. Okay, that's the purpose of exploratory data analysis. We have to know what is that, and then we have sex, male, female. Okay, we know age, we know SIB, SP. I don't know punch. Ticket, yes, the ticket number, fare, okay, makes sense. Cabin, maybe cabin number, embark, I'm not sure. Okay, so we go and find, I don't know, we go and find Titanic, okay, Titanic data set meaning, okay. So this is normally what we do, simple one, okay. So you see, in this, I'm not sure how many of you familiar with GitHub. Type GitHub. GITHUB. How many of you familiar with GitHub? Type GitHub. GITHUB. Right. So there's thousands, millions of data. Okay, you can play around with it. It's like, okay, good. Game mode. Okay. All right. Refasca, Rinaldi. Okay. All not many replied. Okay, so no problem. Okay, so this is my GitHub, but the one we enter is from Andres. So you see he mentioned survival. Aha, then we know survival 0 is no, is dead, mati, tewas. So survival 1 is hidup, 0 is tewas, number 1 is hidup. Class passenger. Okay, we have passenger first class, second class. Okay, first class, second class, third class. That is passenger. Name, sex, we know age. SIBSP. Oh, number of sibling. Number of sibling. Maybe they have one. They have bring husband. The husband bring kids. and so on. Ticket number, okay, passenger fare, cabin, embark. C is Cherbourg, Queenstown, and Southampton. Okay, I think this is the port where they went into the ship, okay, where they start their journey. Okay, I don't know where it is. Southampton, I know. Queenstown, maybe the UK side. Cherbourg, I don't know. I never heard of it. Okay, lifeboat. Okay, this one I'm not sure. We don't have it in the data. So at least we know these are things which are very important. Very important. Okay, then we go back to our Excel. Okay, so this is our Excel. Okay, so we know that survive, 0 is dead, 1 is and so on. So we know about it. Okay, so first thing we do, okay, there's one very, very important tool that we must have in our computer, in our Excel. The analysis. But before that, please check your Excel. If you have this tool with you, okay, let me check for me. Data analysis. Okay, if you have it, you can go to your file. Oops, sorry. You can go to data. So there's a ribbon here, menu, home, insert page layout, data. So all these are ribbons. You can see at the right data analysis. Type data analysis. If you don't have it, no need to type anything. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Mrs. Lion have. Okay, good. So how do you call this? Very simple. If you don't have it, go to file. Okay, options. Okay, add-ins. Okay, in add-ins, there's manage here. Okay, when you click the drop down, they have many. You click Excel add-ins. When you go, you can see there's 4 add-ins. Okay, so click number 1, analysis tool pack. Click that one and press OK. Okay, you click and press OK. Once you have it, once you press OK, when you check your data here, you can get the data analysis. Okay. All right, that's all. Very simple. Okay, very simple. Okay, I hope you get it. Okay, so if you try to click data analysis, just click and see, wow. You see how many types of data analysis they have. ANOVA, correlation, descriptive, Fourier. Last time when I was studying my bachelor degree, I used a lot of fast Fourier analysis, fast Fourier transformation analysis. Okay, FFT, for detecting vibration, some frequency of frequency coming from machine. Okay, histogram, moving average, random, so many. That's why I don't use SPSS. I don't use SPSS. I just use this. All right. So we are not going to use any of, all these. We are going to use one descriptive statistic only. Very simple. Okay. So let's go and check what to do. All right. So in your file, I think your file doesn't have the tab. Okay, because I didn't prepare for you that one. I prepare here. So what you need to do, you can go to add one and make one sheet. So these are called sheets. So you make this. Okay. What you do, you copy the Titanic data. So you copy this Titanic data. Okay, copy. Once you copy, you paste it in the sheet. Okay, you copy, you paste it in the sheet. So after you copy, then you will get something like this. Okay, so of course yours here is all blank. Okay, so okay lah, I make it blank lah. I delete all lah. Okay, you will, oh sorry, I will, okay, so you delete all. I delete all. So you have this similar to the original Titanic data. Just throw this one. Okay, all right. Okay, so what you do next? Okay, so we want to use data analysis. You want to see each, what they call, not all lah. We just choose. just now I mentioned decompose. We use our brain, we decompose. We just find. Maybe you want to see passenger ID. You want to see how many passengers. Click this column and do data analysis, descriptive and statistic, and you press OK. And then they will ask you the input range from here until N, F, all F. Labels in the first row, yes, you have labels. Output range. Okay, output range, you have to put it. Okay, let me put here, output range. And summary of statistics. You can put all, but minimum one. Okay, so you press OK. Okay, then you get, oh, why I choose age? I wrongly choose the, I wrongly choose the, what do you call, the column. Okay, it's okay. Age, age. So age is here. It's okay. So I go, okay, let's look at age first. Okay, so there are 714 count. Okay, so I assume there are 714 records. Is it correct? Do you think it's correct? 714 records? I'm not sure. Okay, so you see, we don't actually know because when we just look here roughly, this is empty. This is empty. This is empty. This is empty. So 7114 may not be the number of passenger. 714 only passenger who have age information. So let's go and do another round. I think let's data analysis, descriptive, and we want the passenger ID A, output range summary. Okay, this one, put it the other side, just next to it, and then okay. Just wait for a while, and you okay. Okay, all right. Okay, so you have passenger ID. Okay, you see, there are 891 passengers. So there are some passengers, not some, quite a number of passengers who didn't give their age. Okay, no age. All right. So the mean is not so correct because I don't actually know this mean you can consider as not accurate because it's a passenger ID. It's a unique number from 1 until the end. Okay, so that one is considered because it's numbers, so the machine automatically calculate. But if you look at age, the mean, hitung panjang, the purata is 29. So you can say out of all the 714 passengers who gave their who the age are known, 29.6 the age, around nearly 30 years old. The median, so from all the age range from the top until the bottom, the middle is 28. Middle is 28. The most people, most passengers, the age is 24. Okay, so the range is from a maximum of 80 until 0.42. Oh, 0.42 years. That means a baby. 0.42, that means 0.4 times 12, 4 point, around 5 months. Around 5 months. This is around 5 months. 5 months plus age. Okay, this is 80 years old. Okay, okay, you get the point. So this one, of course, the maximum is 1 passenger, and then minimum 1, maximum at 91. All right, so let's check again how okay, let's look at sex. Let's look at sex. Just quick one, very, very simple. Okay, sex is E. Output range, where you want to put output range will be here. Okay. Oh, I didn't put. Okay. Oh yeah, this one. All right. Let me again. Let me put again. Data analysis, descriptive. Okay. E is what? Oh, that is not number. Okay. So let's look at age, or we already have. Let's look at the, what they call, the class. The class of the ship. Where are they? V252C. C is okay. Summary. Okay, good. Good to go. All right. So we have the class. There are three classes: minimum one, minimum one, and maximum three. First class, second class, third class. Okay, this one correct, eh? At 191. So that means all the information of this are already is inside the data. And then we have median and mode. Okay. All right. So this one also just put in as a number, but we don't have people sitting in the middle. Okay. Class 1, class 2, class 3, and then between class 2 and class 3, people sitting in the middle. No. Okay. Because this one is category. This one is category. Eh? All right. Okay. So you see, we have some understanding of some ideas of the data. Okay. And we know they are missing. They are missing data, especially age and so on. Okay. So now, I think sometimes when we look at this kind of data, we have some questions in our mind. We will ask like, hey, do you think why who survived? Female more survive or male more survive? What is the age that survive? Okay, so these are questions that help us. What are the age? Young, kids, women, ladies, or maybe adults? And where are they from? I mean, which room are they from? From class 1, class 2, or class 3? Okay. So can we find from here? Yeah, we can. But if you do a normal way of looking at it, you will have problem. So I will show you a better way of looking at it. Okay. So then you open up a new what they call a new a new sheet. Okay, open up a new sheet. So I open up a new sheet. Okay, in this case, I copy all this the same, Titanic data. I copy, but this time I add some modification. I modify. So what I modify, if you look here, I modify this one and also this. Okay, the original data doesn't have this, the original data doesn't have perish or survive, because it's difficult for me later on even to label if 0 perish, 1 survive, and if 0 1 0 1 0 1, I also don't like to look at it. Okay, and even the class 3 third, class 1 first, and class 2 will be second class. Okay, so what happened here, I just modify, very simple. Okay, I use this what do you call these tools. You can actually follow this formula which I type, but very simple. I normally use this logical test. Okay, I use this logical test, and if let's say if this one okay is 0, okay, I will actually say it's what you call perish if 1 is survived. So I will put that. So we just put, very simple. Okay. So automatically it will add in here. Okay. Let's do it together. Let's do it. Okay. So you see. So this is if. So we go if go. You see. Oops. If that is if s if okay if this column equivalent to 1, if that's the logic, if it's true, 1 is what? Survive, right? So it's survive. Okay. If it's perish, most of you knows about it. Okay. So when you press OK, all right, and you get all the in this form which you have filter. if you do one, automatically, I show, there are 800, so many more. 800. Okay, I delete, see, no. Okay, so we just start again. If survived, survive. If false is perish. And it will go. Okay, the same is the, okay, class 1, class 2, class 3, yeah. So let me just throw this one lah. So easy for you. I delete all. Okay. We name it as new class, new P class. Okay. So when we go here, this one, because it has 3 options, three category, 1, 2, 3. It's more than one. If only 2 or more than 1, okay, you use if. But if it's more than that, you use if s. Okay. So then we go, if this one equivalent to 1. So it's first class. Okay, and then the number 2, if this one equivalent to 2. Okay, second class. This one is equivalent to 3. Third class. Okay, so you can do many, but we have 3 options. So, okay. All right, it will change everything there. Okay. Okay, so you see, now we want to know what was our question just now. Okay, let's see what our question. Okay, let's go back to our slide. Okay, we have this. What patterns that we have in the data that are highly associated with survival? What pattern? So let's see. Okay, I think okay. Anyone wants to do what should we start first? Okay. So before we do a normal, if we do a normal analysis, we may okay, let me just delete this first. If we do a normal analysis, maybe we choose one column here. Okay. Difficult. I think if you do a normal analysis, you will have problems in dimension. Okay, do you know dimension? Dimension is where you can add in more and more variables, so it becomes many dimension to look at. Okay, for example, what is the dimension if you combine gender and also parish? There will be new dimension there. Okay, so this is what I want to share with you. Okay, what you need to do. Okay, I introduce you one features in Excel, which is we call it a pivot table. So what is pivot table? Let's look at it. Okay, I'm not going to explain, just look at it, how it is so simple to do analysis using pivot table. So what you need to do, this is your table. You must be we already modify this part just now. We already add this, the rest we still just maintain. Okay, but the first thing you need to do, make sure your cursor is anywhere in the data. This will be your data. So anyway, so what you do, you go and click insert, and then you click pivot table. Once you click pivot table, you will get this message. So the message is asking table range, table 13. So this whole table is considered as already number as table 13. Okay. You guys can catch up. Okay. So anyone wants to Oh, 5 minutes. So I only have 1 hour for the demo. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me 5 minutes, eh? Okay. So I thought I have 1.5 hours. Okay, let me just do this part and then let's go for question and answer. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Lain. Okay.
No problem.
So
It's
this
okay.
is table range. All right. And then I will add existing worksheet. I will put the way should I put the pivot table. Okay. So this is your data. So I want to put it here lah. I want to put here. So I put okay. All right. So once you do that, okay, I close this one. I think so many things. Okay. Once you do that, you will have this. And you see here, all these are the fields which comes from your data. Okay. So let's just play around. I think one of the things that I want to know, I myself want to know, okay, which gender survive and which gender perish? Okay, so what I do, I will look at sex. I will pull, you see, simple, you put, normally we have row and column, okay, row and column. So I want to put sex as a row, pull here as a row, okay. So we have male and female, okay, nice, that's one dimension. And we have, just now survive, right? Hold on, let me check, I forgot already. New survive, perish or new survive. So I put column. Okay, so we have here, but no numbers. So numbers, you want to get the number of new survive, pull it to values. When you pull it, then you get, then we know. Female, okay, this is correct. You check again, 891 count. So, so many male perish. Oh, very difficult to see. Let's change it into percentage. I think percentage is easier. Where is it? Okay, show values by percentage. Okay. So when we see here, oh my God, terrible, 81% perish, 81% died. 81%, So there's a lot, okay? Male, but okay. Male perish, what age? What age are they? Okay, let's look at before age. Let's look at from, because they have different classes, right? They have class 1, class 2, class 3. You still remember the movie Titanic? People say class 3, a lot of people died. Right? Okay, let's look. Whether it's true or not. Of course, they are using this data, I believe. Class, new P class. I put it here in the row. So you see first class ladies. Okay, first class ladies. So they are 3.19 perish. So not many, many survive. Many survive here. So you see, in SPSS, you have a cross tabulation. If you remember cross tabulation. So cross tabulation is where you do something like this. Okay, but every time you SPSS, you select and then you have to do process. Submit. This one is automatic. You just drag and drop. Let's say I want to change the layout. I want to put the new class on top of sex. I just move here. You see my cursor. I just move here up. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you see this one also changed. In first class, 63% male died. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so I have actually a lot more data to show you. Okay, but I think let me just go to the scatter plot. So scatter plot, I also use pivot table. Okay, and it's really helpful because just look at it. Just sharing with you a bit before we go into Q&A. You imagine from the data, if you don't do pivot table, you will have a lot of problem in making different dimensions. So you see here, we have age, we have family size. I actually add in new column, family size, because from the data from the GitHub just now, I understood that the family size, there are many because they bring their kids. They bring their kids, their family members. Okay, if you look here, the age, okay, hold on. Just look at this. If the age, you see, just look here, family size. If family size more than 6, just make one line here. One line, imaginary line. Above 6, that means the passenger which has more than 6 family member, only 3 survive. Only 3 survive. Yang mempunyai 6 orang ke atas, 6, 7, 8, 9, hanya 3 orang sahaja yang selamat. Yang lain semua tewas. Itu kalau kita lihat, if we look at that. But if you go young age, if you put like young age, here and 10, less than 10, you can see a group, a bundle of people here. Many of them survive. The blue survive, and we have below 20 also survive. Below 30 survive. We have also one very old one, 60 over, so survive. I don't know. I have to check who is this guy. Very, very fit. Maybe he's what they call? This is looking at ladies only, all lady, because I purposely do this scatter plot using female. Okay, using female. So in female, survive and also perish. Okay, yang tewas dan juga yang masih hidup. Okay, so I cannot show you more. We are going into the question and answer. Okay, anyway, I'll skip this one. Sharing this line, just share with you. You image using Excel. It's limited. This is the maximum I can go. This is the maximum I can go. But if you use other tools like this, you see, you can actually have, this is very powerful. You can actually have this, what do you call? You can see here, first, second, and third class. They break it into 3. And you can also look at the family size here. Okay, family size. You can also look at the age. And you can also look at male and female. Wow, so many dimensions. Male, female, 1 dimension. This is another 1 dimension. Family size, another 1 dimension. Age, also another 1 dimension. And you can get the data of perish and survive. How you get this? Once you know the concept in Excel, okay, Excel is simple. Okay, improve yourself, upskilling, improve yourself, and in this case, I use R, a program, a programming language called R, okay, to develop multiple dimension at one time, one view. Okay, so let me summarize. Okay, so I advise everyone to spend time looking at your data. Spend time, okay, like today we spend 1 hour, just go through and do some use pivot table, learn about pivot table. Okay, there's also another part, we call it slicing. Okay, I don't have time to show you that. Okay, and a simple choice of tools would increase your understanding about your data. Okay, and with this basic, which you know the concept and the skill, how to manipulate and to how to actually look at visualizing data in Excel, you can upskill to better tools such as R or Python. Okay, so thank you very much. Let me pass this session to our moderator, Mrs. Lain.
Thank you very much, Prof. Saidi. So in this short time, we surely learned a lot. We have not only heard about what is data analysis, but we actually do the practice. And these sections that turned out to be a very technical that we could follow, that is surely we learned some set of skills. I'm sure our students learned a lot today. So for all of our audiences, our students, if you have any questions, you can type up here in the chat box. And there is also some questions that we have already received directly to our link that
Okay.
can be noted by the committee, and we will share the screen. We have some questions from our students from the before this session coming. Jadi kalau ada pertanyaan dari mahasiswa atau semua audiens, silahkan you can type di chat box. You can type in English or bahasa Indonesia is fine.
Ya, silakan.
Ya. Dan juga ada beberapa pertanyaan yang sudah di-note oleh committee sebelum session ini akan bisa di-share di slide. Okay, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the questions from audiences and also the questions that have been compiled, I've seen that today we learned a lot of basic skills and technical skills into the data analysis and put the logic of the language of the data itself. I totally agree with Prof. Zaidi that when we're managing data, when we're analyzing data, we're trying to put the logic into the sets of data and put a language in it so it can be understandable. So that is basically the highlight of today. We have the first question from Hilmi. On the screen, it's already pop up. So the question is, what's the difference between the latest SPSS and the older version? Should I use the new one or find using the older one? Will it make any difference on my results? So this is more of the questions about the software itself.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Hilmi. So for asking the question, I actually didn't use much SPSS. I'm not really a user of SPSS, but I have one SPSS version in my computer, but it's already expired. It's already expired. Those I think the latest those are late. 20 version 20 over now. Because last time, the first time I used SPSS was I think 1996 or 7. The version was like less than version 10, if I'm not mistaken. And okay, just sharing with you, if let's say you are talking about multivariate analysis, okay, multivariate analysis, I recommend you to use latest version. Whatever it is, the latest version always offer much better analysis, much better option to look at your data. Okay, so that is a general advice from me. If you have a new one, it's better. If you don't have a new one, if still you are not really using those advanced analysis tools, it's okay. It's not a big problem. Okay. There's no difference in the result. If the tool, the analysis is the same, even the old and new, they will give you the same result. Okay. But if you need to get, for example, when in 2007 or 8, if I'm not mistaken, I was actually doing some multivariate analysis using conjoint analysis, factor analysis, all this multi-dimensional scaling. I'm not sure whether I understand you won't be using this in undergraduate. Is it true, Madam Lion? Is it true? They will not, I mean, they don't use those like advanced SPSS in their undergraduate, or they use advanced, for example, multi-dimensional scaling, conjoint analysis. Do they use it?
Well, I think it really varied from the topic of the thesis itself. Well, some will get to the essence, but mostly they haven't touched into the essence level of the SPSS itself.
All right. Okay. Because what I understood, what they call, of course, it goes into the different the topic, but they are, for example, most students, if they do positivity study, they will actually do a testing of hypothesis. Okay, so they want to check whether it's significant or non-significant on the relation or
Yes,
using
exactly.
regression or and so on. So if that one, even the old version, they have it. It's not a big problem. Yeah, like between two group, like you do t-test and so on. You want to get the alpha chromback is already available. But if you want to do advanced, I suggest you get a new one. The other one that you can do, you can explore Excel. Excel is very powerful actually. Frankly speaking, it's very powerful, and it gives me a lot of, for example, if students send me the data, okay, I will run it through Excel. I don't run it through SPSS. And when they say SPSS, I will compare. Mostly it's the same. It's the same because we use the simple, the not simple, the same statistical formula. If you use whatever it is, the normal mean median statistical deviation, all that should be standard because you can even use your calculator to calculate. Okay, I hope I'm answering that. I'm so sorry, I'm not really expert in SPSS. Okay, for me, SPSS is uh, it's very simple to use, but there's a lot of reporting come out too much. When you click report, so I get confused. So I started not using it. Okay. All right. I hope Hilmi, I'm answering the question. Yeah.
Surely. Thank you very much, Prof. Lady. Is there a next question? Okay, so the next question is that is it okay that during our dissertation thesis we're using library Python like pandas, numpy, and all of these other tools to analyze the data? What do you think?
Okay. Scripsy, what does it mean? Scripsy, is it their thesis?
Thesis, yes.
Okay. All right. In our faculty here, in Faculty of Management, until now, I couldn't see students using this, using the library. NumPy, okay, and Panda. Sometimes, especially Panda, that one is used just to explore, to see the information and description of data. But it's not really published in their thesis. But students from computer science, information science, and data science, yeah, they actually use that up to the level of machine learning. Preparing data, for example, cleaning the data and preparing data for testing and for training. Yeah, for training, 70%. Yeah, and then you do the other part is the testing. Yeah. So
Right,
in UTM, I didn't see. Yeah, except for computer science student. Yeah,
I see. So that's
yeah,
more of the technical tools that is used for the computer major students.
yeah. For computer science, they will use these tools because it's used for machine learning and for modeling.
I see.
For
I
the
see.
management, normally many people are using SPSS. If they have issues in, for example, some of the visual are not so nice in SPSS, I see some students using MATLAB. Yeah, MATLAB to plot. Yeah, for example, we did last time the much better using MATLAB. So
So
my
um,
suggestion is to look at the reason why they want to use this. Why do you want to use? Hmm.
exactly. Before we're choosing which one's the statistical tools that we're trying to use, we need to understand the purpose of the data itself, what kind
Right.
of language that you're trying to visualize from the data, because that's basically the goal, isn't it? Right, very good question from Wira. Is there any next question? Okay, so we have questions from Triani. So this is a pretty good question. She's asking step by step in analyzing the data, especially when winning variable using PLS.
All right. So Sam's really good. I'm not really good in this. Okay. Bagaimana step by step mengolah data khususnya yang menggunakan variable intervening. So variable intervening is what? Is it moderator? Mediator?
I guess, yeah. Yes.
I think so, right? Okay. I couldn't answer this, but if can this one I think have to show demo, then can answer, because it's like one by one have to look at the moderator that is involved, and normally we look, for example, for my PhD student, we will actually look at the moderator that is moderator or mediator, which is maybe what do you call transforming. Okay, it transform the variable IV into the DV, like a moderator. It may be like, I always tell my students, maybe the moderator is like an catalytic converter. Pemangkin dalam kereta, ya. So ada dia punya, ada kaedahnya dalam smart PLS, but I couldn't show here how to one by one do it. Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah.
I see, no problem. Anyway, there was a great question from that basically goes and can be familiar with some of these tools, and we have gained an insight that our students and also these sessions today students have some basic and straight the technical steps as well. So coming from this sense, I guess our students learn a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any more questions? We can take one.
Oops.
Okay, we have more questions.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I thought I was disconnected.
I'm sorry, I was disconnected.
Oh, you was disconnected. Okay.
I was disconnected. I'm sorry, I have two Wi-Fi in the same house, so it's kind of like switching one to another.
Okay. All right.
So,
Ismi.
yeah, we have one more question from Ismi. Apabila kita memiliki sampel, if you have a sample of 50 to 100 respondent and the research that has a relationship between variable, independent and dependent variable, would it be easier to use which software, or we can just use Excel?
Okay. A quick answer looking at this. Yes, you can use Excel. Okay. Because it can go beyond that number. Okay. But before you do anything, firstly, 50 to 100 respondent is representing what population? Okay, if we look at Craigie Morgan table, 333 will what they call 333 people sample will actually kind of go into the maximum of the population that you want. So this one is considered small. The other question that I want to ask is, how many variable do you have? Okay, of course you say here what variable independent. Is it one variable independent and one IV and one DV, or many IV to many DV? Okay, so whatever it is that you have, please look at your model again. Your your theoretical model, or sorry, your conceptual model or your proposed model. Okay, because I see 50 to 100 for the time being. I never allow my student to run 50 to 100 respondent. It's too small. Yeah, unless I know the limitation, maybe it's very, very limited to get people, and that's the only what we call of population. It's considered as the limitation. Yeah, but tools point of view, yes, I think it's even better because most social science get off.